You're still thinking about them right now, aren't you? Not because they're in your life, but because you can't get them out of your head. The Stoics had a name for this: slavery. Here's what happens. You meet someone. Maybe you love them. Maybe you just care about them. Doesn't matter which. Slowly, they become your reason. Your mood depends on their mood. Your peace depends on their presence. Your value depends on what they think of you. When they're distant, you panic. When they pull away, you chase. When they move on, you break. You tell yourself you're attached. You're not attached, you're dependent. And dependency isn't love. It's a cage you built while thinking you were building a bridge. Most people never admit this to themselves. The question is, will you? Stoic Lesson 1: You can't own people. The person you're emotionally attached to belongs to themselves, not to you. That's not a problem. That's reality. Epictetus was born a slave. His master would twist his leg to cause pain. One day his master twisted it hard. Epictetus didn't scream. He said, "You will break it." His master kept twisting. His leg broke. Epictetus looked at him and said, "I told you so." He was a slave with no freedom over his body, but he had freedom over his mind. You have the opposite problem. You're free, but you voluntarily enslaved your mind to someone else's choices. Here's the Stoic truth. Other people's actions are not yours to control. Their feelings aren't yours to manage. Their departure isn't yours to prevent. The moment you accept this, really accept it, you stop suffocating them with expectations. And you stop suffocating yourself with disappointment. When was the last time you let someone leave without trying to save them? Stoic Lesson 2. Distinguish what's in your control. You can control your effort, your loyalty, your integrity. You cannot control if they stay. Marcus Aurelius had a wife, Faustina. By most accounts, she betrayed him repeatedly. He could have destroyed her instead. He kept his virtue intact. Why? Because he understood. Her actions are her responsibility. His response is his. Emotional detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring the right way. You can choose to be present when they're present. You can choose to love them fully. You can choose to invest in them with full effort. But the moment you try to control their feelings, their choices, their timeline, you've lost the game. That's when neediness creeps in. That's when you become manipulative without realizing it. That's when you sacrifice your dignity. The Stoic path. Give your best. Surrender the outcome. Most of you won't do this. You'll keep trying to orchestrate their emotions and it will keep failing. Stoic Lesson 3. Preferred indifference. It's okay to prefer being around them. It's death when you need them. The Stoics didn't teach you to become cold. They taught you to be honest about what matters. Preferred indifference. That's the concept. External things like health, wealth, relationships, they're preferable, but they're still indifferent to your virtue. You can prefer their company. You can desire a good relationship. That's human. That's fine. But the second that preference becomes a need, the second your peace depends on it, you've given them power over your soul, and they didn't ask for it. They probably don't even want it. When you walk into their presence with desperation, they feel it. It pushes them away. Your neediness becomes repulsive. Not because they're cruel, but because human beings instinctively reject chains. Here's what the Stoics understood. People stay close to those who don't need them, not because they're cruel, but because freedom is attractive. Peace is attractive. Independence is magnetic. The person most likely to stay in your life is the person who could leave and chooses not to think about that for a second. Who in your life makes you feel wanted? It's not the person desperate for you, is it? Stoic Lesson 4. Love the obstacle. Punchline. The pain of losing them isn't proof you loved wrong. It's proof you're learning to love right. Seneca lost people. Everyone did. He didn't pretend it didn't hurt. But here's what he did. He used the pain. He looked at it and asked, what is this teaching me about what I can and cannot control? What does this reveal about my character? Emotional detachment doesn't mean numbness. It means you can feel the loss without being destroyed by it. When someone pulls away, instead of chasing, you pause. You ask yourself, what does this show me about my expectations? Was I trying to control the uncontrollable? That pain becomes a teacher, not an enemy. This is the deeper Stoic move. You don't detach by hardening your heart. You detach by understanding what's actually happening. You're not abandoning love. You're abandoning the fantasy version of love where someone else's choices dictate your worth. Stoic Lesson 5. Build your foundation alone. Punchline. If your peace dies when they leave, your peace was never actually yours. Here's the brutal reality most people avoid. You need to be okay alone, not lonely. Alone. There's a difference. Lonely is desperate. Alone is complete. Marcus Aurelius spent years in war zones away from everyone. He didn't break. Seneca spent time in exile. He didn't break. Epictetus lived in captivity. He didn't break. Why? Because they built their peace internally. They didn't rent it from other people. If you're constantly seeking reassurance from this person, you don't love them. You're using them as a life support system, and they'll eventually resent you for it. The Stoic move. Build your own reasons to wake up in the morning. Develop your own goals. Cultivate disciplines that have nothing to do with them. Read, train, create, build, contribute. When you do this, something changes. You stop needing their validation because you're validating yourself through action. And paradoxically, they'll respect you more. You'll attract better people. You'll keep the good ones because you're not suffocating them. Here's the question. What in your life exists only because of them? Because that's your vulnerability. That's where the cage is. Stoic Lesson 6. Amor fati. Love your fate. Stop resisting what's happening and start choosing what it means. Amor fati. Love of fate. It's not passive acceptance. It's active embracement. If they leave, you say, here's what I'll become because of this. If they stay, you say, here's who I'll be for this opportunity. Either way, you're driving. You're not being driven. The person emotionally attached is constantly saying, why did they do this to me? Why are they leaving? Why don't they see my worth? They're the victim of their own narrative. The detached person says, this is what's happening. What's my move? What will I do now? See the difference? One is paralyzed. One is powerful. Emotional detachment is just maturity. It's understanding that people come and go. It's accepting that reality and choosing your response anyway. Most men won't do this. They'll keep orbiting people who don't orbit them back. They'll keep checking their phone, keep rearranging their lives, keep hoping. The choice is yours, right now. Here's what you do today. Identify one person you're emotionally dependent on, just one. Now, this isn't about abandoning them or being cold. It's about waking up. Do one thing today that has nothing to do with them. Something small, Something that proves to you that you can be okay, that you matter, that your life doesn't require their presence to exist. Read a book you've been avoiding. Train, write, build something, contribute somewhere, not to impress them, not to make them see your worth, for you. Do this for the next week, every single day, and watch what changes, in you first, in them second. The Stoics didn't teach detachment to be cruel. They taught it so you'd finally be free, so you could love without chains, so you could let people go without destroying yourself, so you could be whole on your own. And then choose to share that wholeness. That's power. That's virtue. That's the Stoic way. Start today. The choice is yours.